Right, and we're on air, and we got 0 viewers, which is what I expected.
The hell was that?
Jamie's on twice.
Only momentarily.
Hurley. Hey, we got 4 viewers, so some people have jumped on. All right. So
that was me. I fixed it.
Appreciate it. Hey guys, sorry for the mix up. I had a bit of a situation with my computer tried an update and got jammed up and it wouldn't recognize my Wi-Fi and I ended up screwing up everything. But glad to have you back. Sorry we sorry we lost you there for a minute.
Difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties, which happens. I kind of expected that we might have some issues with internet because we've got a lot of infrastructure, at least a little west of us, it's down. And Mediacom is who we have to deal with here. They're not known for stability with their infrastructure. So I wasn't 100% surprised, but the fact that it was actually a computer issue, that just pisses me off. But hopefully we're going to get Chico back up here in a little bit. For some reason, I don't think he gets my emails. I don't know why. But and he was the one that was talking.
I'll be good on that while you're talking.
All right. So guys, 17 people bouncing back. Guys, I appreciate you coming back to us. To talk a little bit about gun cleaning and a little bit of whatever. I got Chico that's coming back here in just a sec. Jamie's taking care of that for us. We lost less than half the crowd. Not too bad, Thomas. Absolutely. I appreciate you coming out. Insight Freedom. Thank you, MCK. Floyd Hicks. Eagle Eye Shooting. Tread. I don't think I saw you before we had our technical snafu. Oceana 374. Thanks for coming out, brother. We have Vanessa beforehand and Crazy Scotsman. Glad to see you, man. Fuzzy Fork 8 was on with us a little bit ago. Who knows? We might be able to get some back.
Oh, Fuzz is still here.
Oh, good deal. Good deal. Good deal.
Big Al.
Hey, Chico. Glad to get you back, brother. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Man, we got to figure out why my emails don't get through.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do that. Figure it out because I definitely checked. So look, I was trying to keep everybody active. I was trying to keep them in the side chat. Like, we coming back now.
Yeah, James asked me if it was a good sandwich. Yeah, I wish, man. If the loaded cab gun was here, I could have maybe asked for one. But no sandwich. Just mad panic and pandemonium trying to figure out how to get back on. Eddie B, brother, glad to see you, man. I hope everything's going all right. He says he's driving tonight, so he's just listening. Man, I hope everything is good at home. I know that you guys got it probably a little bit worse than we did. Like I said, man, I was praying for you guys. I'm glad that if you're driving, that means you're at least healthy and well. I hope all the family is and everything else is too. Yeah, Tread, I appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, it's surprising when we have technical difficulties, and it kind of sucks because tonight we had a pretty good size group of people here that were checking us out. Probably had a couple new people, and then they're all like, "These clowns don't know what the hell they're doing," which we don't. No idea.
We're already back up to 23.
Yeah. So, guys, I appreciate everybody picking it back up. So we're gonna bounce it to Chico there. What were you talking about, man? I only caught a little bit of it there towards the end.
Yeah, I was asking. Everybody was talking about what worked for them. So I was kind of asking the side chat because I like to be involved with them. So has anyone in the side chat or first the panel, has anyone had any cleaners or oils that have not worked or didn't work for your particular firearm?
I definitely did. There was this stuff that was in a blue and white bottle, and I couldn't tell you the name of it off the top of my noggin, but I got it at a local sporting goods store. I don't know if it was Academy or before Academy. I may have gotten it at a gun shop. I don't know, but it was supposed to be some highfalutin cleaning solvent, and it dissolved brushes faster than it did anything else. And so it had whatever it had a hell of a lot of kick to it, but it had so much kick to it that all your brushes would be loose in two cleanings.
Wow.
So this stuff was completely useless. And I've also used some oil that was really bad. Like it just gummed up within seconds. That mineral oil that Jamie was showing there, I think that's what they use in like sewing machines and stuff. So that shit's got to be great.
MCK says rim oil sucks.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, man. It was like my dad's gun is like we recommend rim oil, and he tried it, and his shit was just like locked up solid.
Insight said frog loop failed him, and I know Kyle was talking about he loved it. So
it's all in how you apply it. Hey,
right.
Hey Scott, tell me what happened with your failure.
Yeah, Agent 99 from Get Smart. Yeah, I love Get Smart. That was like one of my favorite shows to watch with my dad.
Can I take my shoe off and talk into it yet?
Yeah, I love that sunbeam. And there was a couple of things in that show that always got me. One, that sunbeam was just amazing, right? Two, and I know this is such a small, weird thing, but Don Adams looks like a really small dude, but his hands look like they're like this wide. Yeah, and it always used to amaze me. It's like, God, how's that guy do anything with hands that big on such a little dude? But yeah, she was something. She was a thin girl. She needed a sandwich now. Oh.
Hey, Georgia boy.
Yeah, Georgia boy. Glad to see you, Pastor. He's a Battlestar man. I think I sent you a link, brother. Not to this one. Never mind. We've had technical difficulties since then. GB44. Hey, you know what I haven't seen, right? Speaking of 44, I haven't seen anybody espousing the usability of the water displacement 40. Formula number 40. I.e. WD-40. Like, I haven't heard anybody be like, yeah, I use WD-40 on all my stuff. Which is surprising because
that stuff's flammable.
Oh man, that stuff's crazy.
I know it. It don't last long either.
Mm-mm.
And to you, y'all guys talking about Kroll. I use Kroll on my truck and on my copiers at work and stuff like that. But I never thought to. I'm like Chico. I never thought to use it in my guns. But I see where it would be a pretty good solvent to clean down the barrel.
Well, you know, Jamie, you know, I thought that, but then I was like, I never thought to read on the can, and it says it. It says it right there. I was like, I know, because it's penetrating oil. I know what to do with penetrating oil, you know, in my industry. But I was like, I'm looking when I heard Nathan say it, I was like, hold up. Guns and rifle barrels.
Yeah.
This stuff is not cheap, neither. It is not cheap.
No, it's not cheap.
It works good.
I've read that can many times, and when I got to that part, I'm like, yeah, right. I'm really going to put this stuff in. It's, never mind. I ain't going there. Yeah.
Well, I don't use the aerosol can. I've got the tin is how I do it. That way it doesn't go through as much. But it was so funny, man, because this dude who there for a little while was like trolling me on TRN. He would always put in like some kind of really snide comment about me being an idiot. And he's like, I wouldn't use that stuff. And I'm like, all right, so what would you use? Well, anything but that. I don't use no penetrating oil. And I'm like, all right, dude. Like, that's cool. But it was so funny because it was like, I having somebody kind of troll you on the Reloaders Network is such an odd experience. Because like, is this dude just ancient and grumpy? I'm like, if so, like, I have an ancient grumpy guy that I know. Fuzzy, take care of him. Like, like I don't have to deal with this mess.
Blue wrench.
Has anybody used PB Blaster?
I have not on a gun. I'd be afraid of what it would do to the wood.
Okay, so it dissolves styrofoam cups and all that?
PB's pretty tough, man. Like, I mean,
it's really good rust penetrant, but I'm just asking.
Well, what we used it for back in the days when we were working on junk cars, you always had PB Blaster, not for necessarily taking off bolts, but for taking care of wasps and bees. I mean, because you hit a wasp, man, in mid-flight with some PB Blaster, he just twitches twice. That's it. He's done.
We used brake cleaner for that. We didn't use PB. That shit was too valuable.
Yeah, a good CRC brake clean, man. That's some tough stuff. That'll take care of just about anything.
The original Mopar brake cleaner, when we used to buy it from Mopar, before they changed the formula to California compliant, you could hit a wasp in mid-flight, and that son of a bitch would be a hollow shell by the time it hit.
You just blow up and poof.
No, it would soak in through its like abdomen or thorax or whatever the hell you want to call it. And it would be hollow when it hit the ground. You could see through it. It was gone.
Kyle just said thorax, everybody. That man reads, right? He tries to act like he doesn't, but he just busted out with thorax. I think he said faux pas earlier, which he speaks French too.
No, that was you that busted out with the French. I don't speak French. I don't parlez-vous Francis. Okay.
Which reminds me of the Addams Family. No more tissue, that's French.
Yeah.
Come on, Tallyvoo.
So I haven't seen anybody piping up too much in chat with cleaners that they don't like. I actually expected more people to be down on hops because it's been around for so long. And Ed's Red, I think Jamie's right. I think Ed's Red's probably the way to go if you feel like being a chemist.
Hey, Kenny, did you say that you have tried PB Blaster?
Who, me?
No, Kenny, Eagle Eye. He said, I have, Kyle. SKS likes it.
Huh. Fair enough.
SKS likes a good salt bath and sand and everything else too.
Dude, that's one of those ones that got away. My mom.
He said it just liquefied the Cosmoline and made it easier to clean.
Absolutely, I bet it does. My mom had a really nice SKS that we got in like the early 90s. And when they moved down here, they let it go for, a song, man, like next to nothing. And now it's like, oh, man, kick ourselves in the ass because that was a nice one. I mean, for an SKS, I mean, they're all, but I mean, hers was like mint. It was really nice. I think that was like the only semi-auto we had at the time.
I find it hard to beat this homemade stuff. Everything that I've used it on, and like I said, I converted a AR over to it too. And it just comes clean.
Kyle, I got a question for you, buddy.
Yeah.
So you got like a red liquid inside of your spaghetti sauce jar.
Right.
You ever think that might actually run into a bit of confusion sometimes? Like, it's just a little bit thin, guys. Don't worry about that. You get a little tipsy, and next thing you know, you're having an Ed's Red spaghetti.
This one has no label.
Okay, there we go. That one just looks like, it's a mason jar, so I immediately think that stuff's high test, been made out in the woods.
If it's labeled marinara, it's gun cleaner. I have a system.
So what you're saying is if you take and put a little bit of cherry, all right, and some moonshine, like some good cherry, then you're going to have a little bit of a mix-up because you have to get stuff labeled, man.
No. If it has no label, you drink it. If it has a label, you don't drink it. It's simple.
Fair enough. You got a system. It's
got a label on it. You clean guns with it.
Inside says it hops rocks on the revolver cleaning, which is mostly what I do.
You could probably clean guns with this stuff too.
Yeah, I bet you could.
Yeah, you probably could.
Man, I ain't doing that for a while.
I wonder, has anyone tried this hops, this gun medic? This is a lube. This is something I found on one of my deals at the Wally, and for the price, I wasn't buying it for the regular price. Let's say that, but $2, whereas it was normally like $8. I was like, hey.
I can see buying that, yeah, but I haven't tried it.
Mm-mm.
It's called Gun Medic Lube, so I don't,
I use frog lube, the liquid frog lube as just lube, like on your slides on your 1911s or your Glocks or whatever. And after you run about 1,000 rounds through an AR, put a couple of drops in the holes in the bolt,
Georgia boy said possum grease.
Which I'm guessing is rendered possum. I have no idea.
He just said rendered possum.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing you can render fat off of anything, and possums have a fair amount of fat on them. I mean, I know down here they got a thing where
turn it on medium low until it renders.
Yeah, I know down here they got a thing where if you're gonna try to kill and sell your possum, you got to leave the hands on it.
Oh, the fat's got to be on it.
Well, no, the hands got to be on it. Like you can skin it, you can do everything else, but the hands have got to be there. The hands and the feet.
Talking about.
I'm serious, man. It's a thing, dude. It's like I was told this. Like I don't know why I was told this. Like I'm gonna be out there killing possums and selling them.
Fire.
But it was a thing, man. It said that it was a buddy of mine, Sean, told me that when they had guys they would come and go hunt possums and sell them to them, but they had to have the hands and the feet on them because you almost can't distinguish between them and a house cat once they've been skinned out.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's some crazy shit, man.
All right. So I guess when you get below the fall line, it becomes state law.
Yeah, man, things get weird down here. Like things get a little strange.
In the dirty South.
Yeah. I mean, we're in the dirty South, and we're talking about eating like possums and such. Like everybody's sharing their own. So that's true, Nathan. See, Georgia boy knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, like people are giving their best their best possum recipes and
just use garlic and onions, you'll be all right.
Yeah. Can you cook an armadillo in his shell? I don't know.
Once you cook it long enough, the shell opens up. It's a lot easier to eat.
It's just like shrimp. You just peel it off.
We're up to 26 and keep going.
What a mess. Cat left home 6 months ago.
It was good too.
Dude, I'll tell you what, this is you talking about some crazy stuff. Like times have changed, right? But I was almost, I would say, not deathly, but I was seriously like not ever gonna eat at Chinese restaurants because of the fear of eating cats and dogs. Because I had that pumped into my head as a kid. The Chinese restaurant served you stray cats and dogs. Man, I had that pumped into my noggin. Like, I don't know how much truth there was to it. I mean, but there was always urban legends like, hey, that Chinese restaurant down the road, they got busted by the man for having dogs. And I'm like, what? As a kid, I just bought that shit. I didn't think, like, wait a minute, wouldn't they close them down, like, for good?
You know where that comes from, correct?
I'm sure racism, but,
No, man, really. Out here, there was a restaurant out on Shorter Avenue. It was a Chinese restaurant right next to a veterinarian, and they got closed down. And everybody swore up and down that was the reason. But my brother-in-law, my ex-brother-in-law, was in the military. He did tours over to Thailand, and he said you could buy a dog on the street with on kebab sticks.
I ordered in Korea. I ordered something. Didn't even know what it was. Mispronounced it and everything. And I was with Buddy, and he goes, "Get this, it's good." Man, this is delicious. What is it? And I'm about halfway done. He goes, "It's dog."
Golden Retriever.
Like,
well,
the hell with it.
Dude,
almost in whatever state you're in, if you go to a Chinese restaurant, you won't see any stray pets around. If you go to, you may see the McDonald's, you may see a dog by the trash. That don't happen in almost no state where it's a Chinese restaurant, and those are facts.
Guys, listen, we got to clean this up now. I'm telling you, if we have any Oriental viewers, they're gone. Yes. We got to, get back on task here.
Jamie,
get back on task is probably a good idea. Yeah. All right.
How about them brains?
Yeah, now I'm cured. Now I eat Chinese food like the best of them, except for the people down here because she's dirty. Anyway, so yeah, cleaning solvents.
Yes.
Creep works pretty good. I think that's made by Seafoam, and it works pretty decent. But the one thing I would say is if you use it on your press, it doesn't seem to work all that well. But I've used it in other applications and it worked pretty well. Because I'll just if I got a lubricant around, so if I've got whatever hops or or whatever, so some Kroil, that's what I'll lube my press with when I'm using it. I don't I don't worry too much about that special stuff. Hornady with their one shot, like, is there any reason that stuff needs to be like $10 for a miniature can of it?
Yeah,
that's insane.
I've even got some of that. Yeah, it's not all that. I don't.
Are you talking about the one shot case lube?
No, the stuff that Jamie's holding.
This stuff right here.
He won't say anything.
Oh, it says case lube, but yeah, it's one shot. I think it's a case or press lube, or it probably does it. It's like a dry lube. That stuff's expensive.
Yeah.
One shot Dynaglide Plus.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a Dynaglide is a Harley.
Yeah,
that is. I know
this
that.
stuff. I use this resizing 223 brass every time I get a stuck case, multiple times. I've had to, with 223 brass, I've had to resort to using the grease, the Hornady Unique. This stuff is not the same thing as that Imperial. But
get on Amazon. You can get a 4-pack of lanolin oil and a 6-pack of 99% alcohol. Have you played with any of that yet?
No, but I got to.
The home
Curtis
stuff. I've never had a stuck case when using that stuff, but I have had a stuck case because I didn't lube it. you know what I'm saying? Like you size it and then something's wrong and then you run it back up in there and like, damn it. And then you have to go to other measures. But the Dillon case lube is $12 for this little spray bottle. It's what is it? How many ounces? It doesn't say, or I'm not going to spend enough time looking, but that probably 6 ounces. I've refilled this same bottle about 40 times with homemade stuff, and it's the same stuff. Come over to the house, man. We'll talk about it.
I had some stuff. I've got some stuff. Lee, and I don't know what kit or what thing it came with, but it was a case lube, and it looks like that lanolin type. It's white, and it works great as a bullet lube. Yeah, dude, it works amazing as bullet lube, and I just had it laying around.
You know what it also says on this tube? Not for public sale.
Yeah.
You know how this showed up at my house? I posted a video on YouTube of my stuck case video. And about 4 days later, this shows up from Lee with a note that says, try this. That's all it said. Try this, James. And it was from Lee Manufacturing.
Yeah, dude, I've had
Lee Precision. I was like, what?
I've got a tube or two. I had 2 tubes of that stuff, and I think it came with some kind of kit stuff I bought. Maybe with a bullet sizing kit. I don't remember.
This stuff showed up on its own in an envelope with a note that says, try this, James.
Yeah, they used to provide that
amazing
with the bullet size, with the Lee bullet sizing kit, but they no longer do that anymore. I just recently bought one for my 9mm, and they don't sell it with the lube anymore. They used to sell it with the lube.
Yeah,
no, we're talking about the A-locks, right?
Yes.
Well, yeah, because you used to get, I think, the A-locks with the bullet sizing kit, but I don't know where I got that lanolin that case lube from.
Oh,
because
okay, I thought you were talking about the
that stuff works. It's white. It looks a little bit different than the A-locks. And the thing about it, man, is you just squeeze just a little bit of that on your hands with some rubber gloves, and you can just go over your bullets real fast, and you're done. I mean, I
was on the phone with
really
Willie,
simple.
running my 44 Magnum hollow points through my NOE sizing die. And I was like, good God, this sucker's stuck. I had to take the die apart and beat it back out the other way and lose a bullet, because it deformed it. It was stuck. And I switched to a different die body, and it got stuck too. And I was on the phone with Willie, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? Well, I got this stuff that Lee sent me. He said, put that shit on it. So I put it on it, and it went, whoop. I was like, what?
Yeah, that stuff works real well. I mean, I think it's real close to that Hornady Unique case lube.
Yeah.
I think it's real close to that stuff. It's just I don't know where I got it from, and I was like, man, I'd love to have more of it, but I don't see it anywhere.
Okay,
It's not for sale to the public.
I've got both of those. I have obviously you just saw me show the Hornady Unique Lube. It's more of a waxy. It's kind of like Vaseline and some wax mixed together. But this white stuff you're talking about, Nathan, it dries up completely, and it's the way I saw Gun Blue 490.
I don't know if you can read that. Not available to consumers.
Yeah, well, I guess you got to order it off of their website. But I got some with my turret press kit. I bought the kit and it came in there. Well, Gun Blue 490 will take a tub like what we do powder coating in, and he'll put just enough of about the thumbnail, about the size of your thumbnail, in the bottom of that pot, the plastic thing, and dump about 100 cases in there and shake it up. Just shake it up like we're doing powder coating. And then he'll take the top off and let it dry for about an hour, and then come in and size those even 223s, and they don't even hesitate going through a size and die. That stuff works, or it worked for him. Now I haven't tried it. I used it some like the same way I use that Unique. I'd take and put it on my hands like what Nathan was saying, and I'd rub it on the case and it'd get dry and it'd feel kind of tacky like. And then you dry it, and I never had a stuck case with it, but I've still got nearly a whole tube, and I'm gonna find some.
$4 at Brownells. So it's $4 for Brownells, and it's cheaper everywhere else, of course. I'm gonna buy some more of it because that stuff worked real well for bullet lube. I don't think I want to use anything else.
Were you saying you found this?
Yeah.
At Brownells?
Yep.
Okay. Well, James at least sent me this.
Well, brother, I'm going to bet, Kyle, that he has stuff that's actually just for the kits, and then he probably has stuff that he resells. It might come in 2 different sizes. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's where we got ours, is we got ours with one of our Lee kits, because I got the Lee anniversary kit, and I bet that's where I got that thing from. But it took a while to use it, but once I found a use for it.
That stuff works amazing.
Yeah, it really did.
So are we talking about 2 different things? What I'm talking about is case lube.
Yeah,
lube.
It's case lube, Jamie, and I'm using it for bullets. So that when I'm sizing bullets, I don't have any that get stuck up in there, like, because sometimes the NOE sizers are not exactly as slick as they could be. Right. And my 40 cal or my one for my 41 is like that. And if I just try to run those bullets up through there powder coated, it is a bear. And
Jamie, I think I talked to you about these. These are my hollow points.
Yeah.
And they dropped at, I think, 434. And I tried to run them through a 431 and they were getting stuck. And matter of fact, these are still a little slick. So I've got a 432, which 431 will size them to 432. We're only talking 3,000s. But you know as well as I do, our wheel weights here in Georgia are really hard.
Yeah.
It was just getting stuck. So I switched to the 432 because I was like, yeah, that's what I got. And I got one stuck in the 432. And I was on the phone with Willie, and he said, well, you're going to have to lube them up. I said, well, I put my lanolin lube, the same stuff I use on my cases, and it's just not phasing it. I said, wait a minute. I got this stuff. And I put a little on a Q-tip and went up in the dye and put a little bit on the first bullet, and it went, whoop. I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that stuff works well. Preacher's Day off coming in. Glad to see you, brother. I haven't seen you in a little while. I hope you're doing all right. And he just cooked himself a big old steak. And that's going to be my new thing, is Fridays cooking a steak. But this Friday, due to the weather and stuff like that, I had some leftovers I had to get rid of. So I had to eat them up. So no steak for me today. Wah, wah. Yeah, I'm with you, man. That it's amazing though when you find stuff that works like that that's not necessarily supposed to. It is kind of surprising. I imagine people like Thorzaks and stuff like that have everything down to a complete science. But I know that when over on the Cast Bullet forum, I think I think everything there came down to like Felix and Ed's Red, and it was all about being a chemist and having your own stuff like made up.
Speaking of chemists, look at Eagle Eye. Hex boron nitride. What the hell is that?
Hex boron nitride. I don't know. I'm sure it's something crazy, some kind of cutting. Yeah, use to cut titanium. Yeah. I don't know.
I'll stick with lanolin and alcohol. It works pretty damn good.
Wait, what kind of alcohol?
Do what?
So are you just using lanolin lube and then getting drunk enough to not care?
No. Man, good God. Amazon, typical.
Yeah, I asked William Chaplin what he used, and he said the least stuff dissolved in alcohol and sprayed from an atomizer. And I seen him on somebody's stream one day doing that, and I was like, but you got to shake it up because it separates. I seen it, and I was like, that's pretty slick right there. But he said he uses a lot of different stuff, or he uses several. Because I asked him what's his go-to.
Is he talking about this white stuff or the ALOX?
You got to ask William. You still out there? Which one do you use? I believe it was the stuff that comes with the ALOX. I believe.
Yeah, ALOX you can mix with rubbing alcohol and mineral spirits, which I think is what most people use, mineral spirits, to get a nice thin coating on your bullets, and it shoots pretty well.
I think he was using his case lube.
Yeah, well, no, the case lube, which is that white stuff.
Now I got Jamie's question. We talking case lube or bullets?
Yeah, the case lube, which is what Kyle and I are talking about. That stuff is amazing, and it's funny, dude, because Curtis said something about it. If it was marketed by somebody else, everybody would talk about how great it is. Man, I have been down that road a lot of times. Lee does some great stuff, and I'll bag on Lee from time to time. Like, I really will. But Lee makes some great, innovative stuff. That's the thing. Lee is always innovating, always trying to come up with new stuff, and they make some really great products. I think that if they did a little bit more testing and didn't put out some of the turds that they have, people would have a much higher of opinion of them. But in my experience with them is sometimes it feels like they're trying to rush stuff out to market. Be like, hey, we got the newest, greatest thing. And then people use it for a couple months and they're like, all these little plastic widgets are breaking.
Yeah, a lot of companies do stuff like that.
Yeah, and it kind of ruins it for in my opinion, it kind of ruins the experience because I've had good experience. That's what I learned to load on. Well, no, I learned to load on RCBS and some Lyman stuff, but my first reloading stuff was Lee, and I still have a Lee. I got a Lee press under this chair right now. They make some great stuff, man, for darn sure. I'm not, Chico wise. I'm getting a Dillon 650 as my first press. That's a high styling man. His first car was like a Lincoln.
This was the second one, and I still got it.
There it is. I found it, guys. Yippee! I found it.
Yeah.
So you got them, and you say yours came in a kit or something?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, maybe it is available for the
public. So that's and that's what William was talking about, right? The lube.
Yeah, he's talking about my toothpaste, which is this resizing lubricant, the white stuff that you need. I don't know, 6 jackhammers, 3 pocket knives, and a caulk gun to get into it. But once you get into it,
dissolve it in alcohol and then put it in an atomizer or a spray bottle or something, right?
Man, yeah, I just love it.
He's talking about a bottle like this, just a old
spray bottle.
I guess 1982 hairspray bottle or something. I mean, because that's pretty much what this is. But
Preacher says he loves his. Preacher's Day Off says he loves his Lee turd press. Absolutely, everybody does. Those things are great. Don't get me wrong, guys. Like I mean, Kyle uses them. Jamie's got them. Curtis uses them all the time. They're great presses, and I'm not trying to bag on their presses and stuff like. It's just they do some really weird stuff. The Lee safety scale. I think we can all agree on that being an abomination. But yeah, I love that Lee lube. That stuff works like a champ.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Go ahead, Jamie. I'm sorry.
I got one of those Lee safety scales that I would love to pour kerosene on and set on fire. I mean, let me tell you something. If you can figure out how to use it, the thing is dead nuts accurate. Yeah. But learning how to use the thing and remaining sane and sober while doing so is an impossibility.
Yeah, and the little plastic push buttons that you have to push through to get the thing to hold that are really too hard, and then you have to take the scale apart and then push down on it. Then if you got to change anything, you got to pull the whole scale. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
And then if that ball moves, because it will, like if you're not paying attention and you hit the scale or do something, that little ball jump one, and then it's like, man.
You know, I've seen at least 2 or 3 times in the side chat, MCK and James Pollard both said pledge for case lube.
Yeah, I've seen pledge lubes for bullet lube. I've never seen it used with case. I mean, I guess it would. I don't see any reason why it really wouldn't. And I don't have any pledge. I got Old English in here, and not.
Man, they said that stuff at the Dollar Tree.
You get a lot of good stuff from the Dollar Tree.
Right. And I'm not knocking Lee stuff at all. I mean,
no.
Like what y'all are saying. Some things they make could have spent another week on R&D before you released it.
Yeah.
But I'm really impressed with my Loadmasters. I got one for 223 and 300 blackout, one for 9mm and 40 cal, and they've got their little quirks. But once you work through them and set them up and spend the time to adjust everything and get everything right, all you have to do is sit there and do this.
Yeah, I like the Lee hand press too. The Lee hand press is the shit. That thing is awesome. The Lee hand press is one of the most innovative, cool. Oh, there's that scale. I can
hold it up again.
I moved all my loading stuff here to the house, and in the course of the move, you know this little razor blade that goes right in here? That sucker's gone. So this thing right here is now officially worthless. So we may have if I can't find it within, say, a week, we might have a video of pouring gas on this thing and burning it.
No, let's shoot it. Let's shoot
a tannerite. That's a great opportunity for a tannerite video.
Well, I got a buddy that keeps tannerite, but he also is the property owner of my deer hunting property. So if I tell him I want to blow the scale up, he pulls out some tannerite. There goes deer hunting, and next weekend's opening of the season. So that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I've got tannerite. Should we talk to John?
I'm still trying to get over that hog hunting video.
Yeah, that was that hog just went to pieces.
Thanks, Curtis. You're a sweetheart, buddy. Did you see what he wrote?
Yeah.
I'll be looking in the mail, Curtis. And we still want to have Curtis on.
Look at Scotsman. Blow it the F up.
Yeah. Well, you are right, man. That thing is terrible.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, it is funny because like scales are another thing. I mean, we don't need to go into scales, but scales are one of those things like everybody has their 2 cents on what they like and what they don't like. But what's funny is how much most of all of the scales that most reloaders have, mechanical scales, are all OHA scales. You know, right. And they all do pretty much the same thing, and they all work just about the same. That Hornady scale is a little funky. I've always wanted
mechanicals with Hornady.
I've always really, really wanted a 1010, and I've never been able to find one for like my price range. And I made a boneheaded play, and there was an open box 1010 at Gander Mountain before they closed down here. Because Gander Mountain was like where if you had a paycheck, you just had to get rid of. That was the place to go. And
I like the way you put that.
I was in there and I'm just looking around, and they had one that was an open box, and they were trying to get rid of it, and I should have bought it, but I didn't. And now I don't even think RCBS is marketing anymore. But I don't know, guys. I'm not into the electronic scale world, and so it's kind of I spend a lot of time with mechanical scales, and right now I've got a little Lyman that is my favorite, and it's just got a couple little things that are different. It's the same basic OHAS design, but I love it.
Okay, Scotsman's made me a deal. If I'll blow up that lead scale, he's going to send me a new one.
That's a good deal, brother. I'm all for that. That's
I'm
good.
all okay. So Scotsman, how would you have us to blow up this fine piece of machinery? You call it, buddy. We'll shoot it with a 12 gauge slug. We'll find some tannerite and blow it up.
I've got about 8 pounds on my gun safe, Jamie.
Well, there you go. Will that do?
Oh, hell, 1 pound will do.
I know. I'm asking the Scotsman. Will tannerite do, Scotsman?
He said, "Well, 44."
Oh, with a 44 Magnum. Okay, we can. Oh, tannerite. Okay, so we got to have the tannerite set off by the 44 Magnum.
That sounds like a plan.
He said 12 pounds for sure.
So, Kyle, we just got to get you good enough with that 44 to be able to hit that bottle of tannerite. I think you can do it.
Or you need enough tannerite that it's actually a big target.
Big enough, right?
Right. Or I could put my. I ain't going there. Go ahead.
So William C. Chapin says that the RCBS started selling 1010 scales that weren't an OHA scale, which is surprising. I didn't know that. And that's probably what I was getting, because it was right at the end when, I mean, I wasn't that long ago that I was looking at getting that one at Gander. But I've been looking at them for years. And what I really wanted, and it's just because I'm stupid, is a Lyman one that's like tan. I always thought it was the most ridiculous thing. Like, nothing in Lyman is tan, but that scale. And I'm like, I always just wanted, just because it was an oddball. Like, it was just a weird thing to do. Especially back in the day when they had like red presses and stuff like that, and they just had this beige scale. I think my dad's got a 505 OHAS that's Lyman, or it might just straight be an OHAS. And I think it's gray or tan. I don't know. Yeah, James Potter says tan. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I tell you what, man, we're up to like 26 viewers, guys. I tell you, I really do appreciate everybody jumping back on. Sorry we had the technical difficulties there for a while. I'm a little bit embarrassed by it, but there ain't nothing you can do. So I do appreciate everybody jumping back on.
Definitely.
Go ahead, Chico. Sorry about that.
No, I was agreeing with you. I was saying definitely appreciate everyone jumping back on.
And it's funny because Willie was bagging on the 3-piece rods. I still use them. Like I think all my rifle rods are 3-piece rods. They're 3-piece Hops rods. They came in Hops gun cleaning kits.
Yeah,
I've got 3-piece. I've got one rod that I use strictly for my 308 because that's my baby, and it's got the guide and it's carbon fiber and all that stuff. I paid the money, and there's no crown damage, so. I mean, I'm a believer in it. I'm not going to spend $10,000 on cleaning rods. So,
yeah,
I have a brass one. It's 3-piece, but I really like the brass one. Kyle missed out on pretty good joke. We were talking about you being able to hit the tannerite with that 44 Magnum, which is what Scotsman wants us to do.
Oh, right. Well, I heard it. Yeah, I was just right over there.
Yeah, okay. And I was starting to say, how can we make sure Kyle hits it? And I was going to say something, and then
set it on your chronograph.
And the Emperor said that, frame it with your chronograph. I'm like, oh no. How'd you know I was going to say that? And Jamie, he said,
you're next.
The Force. He has the Force. He's the Emperor. But yeah, that's going to be fun, man. This has been a really fun chat tonight. I know we had technical difficulties, but we've cut up pretty good. The chat room's been cutting up pretty good, and It's almost 10 o'clock. So
yeah, it's been really fun. If you miss 12 pounds, I'll disown you all.
Yeah. I mean, Scotsman, I think he hit like a can from like a mile away with his. So, I mean, that was like a Coke
Hey,
can.
Scotty, do you want me to do it with a rifle or a pistol?
Yeah, Curtis, I saw your scale setup, brother, and that really kind of that sold it for me. That I wanted to do something better with my scale setup because I've always used a scale at bench height, and it's a pain because you kind of have to duck down, and then after a while you stop ducking down, you're just like, hell with it, it's close enough. And your setup of having it elevated and then having the magnifying glass on it kind of made a big deal for me. My old RCBS had no indices on the left hand side, so the arrow had 0, and then like that was it. So you just kind of had to. So my newest one that I've gotten has like some kind of marks, and I don't know if they're 10th or not. Like I've kind of messed with it a little bit, but it makes a big difference.
French again?
What's that?
Are you speaking French again?
No, sir.
Indices?
Indices, yeah.
that's plural for index.
Yeah.
I'm going to move it around a little bit. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, Nathan, but my Hornady balance scale is up here on this shelf. And from where I sit, I have to reach up to put the powder in, but I can right there above eye level.
Yeah.
I also have a lamp. Get a lot more better.
A lot more better. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something to get it elevated where I just want to build like kind of like a little shelf that I can move because when I reload, I have like certain like if I'm gonna reload a pistol, I'm gonna have 100, 200 cases over on the side, so I need to move my scale over on this. So everything needs to be modular to some degree. Modular is not French, Kyle.
But see, when I built this
you mean modular?
Modular, yeah, there you go.
Okay, all right, I got you.
Be careful, Kyle. They're already making fun of me saying Tannurite out there in the chat. This is a small bench that I built. I wanted to be able to, like you said, Nathan, modular, so I can move stuff around and put it where I want. I built the back legs about another 2.5 feet above the main working level, just for putting the scale and stuff up there, kind of like a little storage shelf. It works out real well with that scale up there.
Now Uncle Jam's speaking French.
Tannurite.
No, he had his on a Movably box. What the hell?
And Curtis is asking if you have multiple vortex scopes, are they vortices? And yes, that is correct. It has to be.
Oh, I'm putting the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yes, that would be it. And I think if you take your two vertices and you cross them, you end up in a Ghostbuster situation.
Do not cross the beams.
Yeah, and it could be bad. It could be really, really bad.
Hey, Nathan, Tread had a question out there about what's a good price for a 1010 scale.
Oh, brother, I've seen them things go. Here's the thing. I'll eBay shop some reloading equipment. I know some people that won't because you never know what you're going to get. I mean, it is seriously some box of chocolates type shit. But I think I have seen them around 130, 140. But I think the better ones are a little bit higher than that. They're north of $100 for sure. For me, that's what I've seen. But I don't even think, like I said, I don't think you can get the new ones. Like I don't think there's new ones even. I don't even think RCBS is putting them out anymore. And what Curtis was saying is that Ohas wasn't making the new ones, so I wouldn't get one of those anyway. I would go for one that was a little bit older. Buy, don't build. Yeah, dude. Look, man, I like building. It builds my skill set. Like I'm now better at doing that kind of stuff than I was before. Right? That's how we do that. We start off and we bite. We walk right up. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have my first meal, and it's gonna be an elephant. And by the time we get done, we know how to do that a little bit better. I don't know what I'm saying. It just took me like it took me like 6 months to build a bench. I know. But it's my bench, dag nabbit, and it is holding up my junk. It is a mess right now. I mean, like an absolute, like Kyle type mess. I mean, it is just whew, all kinds of crap on there that don't need to be there.
Did you say me type mess?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. Good to be recognized.
Man, I tried to do a shout out to you.
Mine's a mess right now too. I'm trying to get organized, and it ain't working out real well.
Yeah, my disorganization moves from room to room. I think that's what's going on. Well, guys, like you said, we're at 10 o'clock just about. So if everyone wants to kind of give their shout outs, talk about what's going, and then I'll close this up.
Sure, I'll go first because I'm on the right. It looks like. Guys, thanks for showing up twice. Thanks for showing back. And yeah, let me see what I got going on next. I'm looking to powder coat. So I've been searching in my local area for powder coating companies that sell the supplies because I'd rather not order it online because the shipping is crazy. But and I don't want to go to the local Harbor Freight. I want something a little different. So be looking out for that. I'll probably have some more casting videos coming out, but I've got some other stuff in the future that I'm going to show when I get a final tally on my lead score if you guys haven't seen it recently. So thanks for showing up. We appreciate you guys, as I do enjoy being here always. Thanks.
Jamie, you're next in line.
Yes.
I'm responding to the Scotsman. He's already ordered a scale, and he's expecting a big ass boom. So get your time right, loaded up, Kyle. We gotta go make a video, buddy.
All we gotta do is get somewhere and shoot. I think that field where I shot my chronograph would be fitting.
Well, see, that's the thing. Deer season opens next weekend, and I plan to be in that field. So
don't be anywhere around that scale.
We'll get it done. I'll call Jake later tomorrow over the weekend. But as I was saying when we came in, we've got 29 on. I hate to end this thing. It's been such fun. Y'all are just the highlight of our weeks. And you just don't know how we look forward to doing this. I've got my Taco Apocalypse video is pending on the Reloaders Network. Bacon should have that up. I fixed the setting to whatever he said, unlisted. I got that done. I've got 35 Remington Load 6. Shot those test rounds today. Those are from the top to the bottom. That's the best groupings we've had so far with the 4895, Kyle.
Sweet.
And I can't wait to get that up. We're going to be doing a scale blow up thing for the Scotsman by popular demand. This is going to be fun. What else have I got? I got a bucket full of 223 brass. The Emperor said when I did the unboxing on my Hornady lock and load cam lock case trimmer that he wanted to see that in action. So we're going to be doing a video about that coming up within the next 2 weeks or so. I got to get some 223 loaded up, so that'll give me the opportunity to do that video. The guy I'm talking about that owns my hunting property, he only hunts with 223, so I'm gonna be making him up some 55 grain 223 rounds. Him and his son can surely kill some deer with that. Other than that, I'm just gonna be laying around, doing nothing, going to work every day.
Cool.
Nathan, you ready? Kyle.
Let me go, and then he can go. I'm sorry, somebody just called me. Chico, come by the house. I'll give you some powder coat, and you can try it out and go with that. And the thing about buying powder coat is you can buy like up to 6 or 7 different pounds, and the shipping costs just the same. So just find out what you want, and then just order it.
Cool.
But I'll give you some of everything I got. I got all kinds of colors. I got purples and blues, and then we can mix and match, and grays and navies, and I got all kinds of stuff. I've got a Dutch oven that I need to destroy. So I really wanted to cook like an upside down pizza or some enchiladas or something like that in it before I did it, but I'm going to fill that sucker full of tire weights and set it on fire. Make a bunch of lead ingots. I got to make some bullets. I've had some requests. There's something that's fixing to come out between three of us that I think is a stellar idea, and I think y'all are going to really enjoy it. It's going to involve several firearms and several different loadings and all that. So that's coming. Got to cast some lead, or got to cast some bullets, got to melt some lead, which all can be made into their own things. But yes, we are going to blow up a scale, and we're going to do it on a grand scale. Because, I mean, if the Scotsman's requesting it, it's either go big or go home. So that's what we're going to do there. Guys, I really appreciate y'all coming back for the second time. It's been really fun, and after the Friday that I've had, this was the most welcome part of the day. Had a real good time cutting up with everybody, and I just can't say how thankful I am for all of y'all, and for the fact that most everybody I know is okay after Michael blew through, but there are a couple of people that have a lot of damage, and they'll do what they need to do to make it happen. But I really appreciate everybody taking time out of their week to come watch this. Go ahead, Nate.
Well, guys, before everybody bounces off, we still have 28 viewers. We were up to 32 at some points, up to 34, 35. Like everybody else, I want to say thank you to everyone who came out and watched this nonsense. But before anybody jumps off, guys, we will not be on next week. The TRN live chat should be next week. And even if it's not, I'm out of town, so maybe Jamie could do it. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to be out of town, and I think the TRN, so we're not going to be streaming next week. We'll be back the week after that. Now, usually when we don't stream like that, some of the guys go and jump on the TRN chat, so it's not like you won't be able to hear from somebody. And there might be a hat chat or something like that to jump in. Which, if you haven't gone to Uncle Jim's channel and you're watching mine, he's in your side chat. Go ahead and click on his name and go to his channel. He does some really great live chats. And if you want to find the TRN live chat, it's most likely going to be on Loads of Bacon's channel. I know there's some talk of some other people hosting it, but I don't think that's happened yet. Guys, everybody, I appreciate everyone coming out. It's huge for us. Everybody's kind of said this.
Can I interrupt right quick? I just saw somebody that popped in, Mr. Idaho Rogers, USMC. He actually stopped by my place of business, and he said, I have something I want to give to you. He said, since you're the only other person that I know that has one of these Henry survival rifles, I'm going to bring you a magazine. He shows up, great guy. We talked for 30, 45 minutes. I was at work. I had to get back at it. He gave me a magazine. I worked on his truck a little bit. And, hey, by the way, are you having that problem anymore? If you are, let me know, and I can send you the part. I just need a mailing address. But I just wanted to say hey to him because he just popped in. That's all.
All right. Yeah, it's funny. We were at a thing last weekend, and there was a giveaway for a Henry survival rifle, and I put in for it. I haven't heard back, but you always question that. Like when somebody does a giveaway like that, if you don't hear back, it's like, oh, I didn't win, or they just don't call anybody. You'd never know the difference. Anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody coming up. I don't know what I've got going on. We'll see. I've been working a lot on. Starting to work on my motorcycle. I've got some other stuff I'm working on. Work's keeping me busy, so we'll see. I know I'll get back around to it here soon. The weather's kind of calming down, cooling off, so I'm probably going to want to start going shooting here soon. But I appreciate everybody coming out, and until not this weekend, but the weekend after that, take it easy. I'll see you later. Thanks.
Bye, guys.
See you guys and girls.